You ever hear someone laugh and realize it's the sound of your whole world shattering? That's how it started for me. I was sitting on the worn leather couch in our living room, still in my work boots, dust from the job site clinging to my jeans. I was tired, dead tired, but happy to be home. I thought she'd be waiting for me like before, maybe curled up with a glass of wine, pretending not to miss me. Instead, the clock hit midnight, and then 1 in the morning, and I sat there like an idiot waiting. When the door finally creaked open, my wife, Madison, stumbled in, hair a mess, heels in her hand, reeking of perfume and something fouler, something like regret. She didn't even flinch when she saw me, just kicked off her shoes and dropped her purse like she owned the world. "Where the hell have you been?" I asked, my voice low, cold. She blinked, then smirked. Walked past me to the fridge like it was just another Tuesday night. "We went out," she said lightly, pulling out a bottle of water. "We did what people do. It was fun." She said it with a casual shrug that nearly sent me into orbit. But it wasn't just her words. It was how she said it, like it was a joke, like I was a joke. I stood up, my fists clenched. "With who, Maddie?" That's when she turned around, leaned back against the fridge, and said it. Looked me dead in the eyes, those same brown eyes I used to lose myself in, and spat it out like she was daring me to break. "From the gym." "Yeah, that guy. We went out. We did what people do, and honestly, it was fun." And then as she laughed, loud, cruel, "You're half the man he is," she hissed between giggles, her voice dripping with poison. "He makes me feel alive. You? You make me feel like a ghost in my own home." It felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. I stood there frozen while she brushed past me, her shoulder slamming into mine. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table, replaying every moment of our so-called marriage, every kiss that now felt like a goddamn lie. 3 days later, like clockwork, she texted me like nothing had happened. "Staying at Ryan's for a few days. Don't make this into a thing." We both knew it was coming. No apology. No shame. No F*** king soul. She thought I'd stay quiet. That I'd fold like a cheap chair and let her dance on the ashes of what we built. She didn't know me at all. I smiled when I read the text. A slow, bitter smile. Because that night, while she was playing house with her gym rat, I was planning something she would never forget. Not her. Not him. Not anyone who ever stepped into that goddamn gym. And when I was done, they wouldn't be able to show their faces there again. Hell, they wouldn't even be able to show their faces in this town. I didn't respond to her text. Didn't say a word. I let her think I was crushed, licking my wounds somewhere. Let her feel untouchable. The next morning, I drove down to Titan Fitness, the gym where it all began. I sat across the street in my truck, sipping burnt gas station coffee, watching her, watching him. Ryan. That was his name. The golden boy trainer, Mr. I bench pressed your husband's pride for breakfast. I saw them, arms brushing, his hand lingering too long on her back. I felt my knuckles crack from gripping the steering wheel. But I waited. Because rage alone wasn't enough. I needed humiliation. I needed the kind of blow that left a scar you couldn't flex your way out of. I started gathering everything: screenshots, messages, photos. Turns out Madison wasn't even discreet. Flirty comments under his posts. "Can't wait for another workout session." Private messages about round 2, and last night was insane. God, it was all right there. She didn't even bother hiding it. Like she wanted me to find it. Like I wasn't even worth the effort anymore. One afternoon, while she was still staying at Ryan's, I went home. The key still worked. Of course it did. She didn't think I had the balls to do anything but mope. I walked inside and the smell hit me, that thick, musky cologne she never used before him. It clung to the curtains, the bedsheets. The bed where we used to dream about kids and vacations and stupid sh*t that didn't mean a damn thing now. I pulled everything. Laptop. Old phone backups. Found videos, homemade ones, her voice giggling, begging, breathing. Not for me. Never again for me. There's no word for that kind of heartbreak. It's a slow, slicing thing, like dying of frostbite. You don't even realize how bad it hurts until you're already half gone. I sat there in our bedroom, no, her bedroom now, feeling the walls close in. And then I smiled. Because the plan was clear. And once it was done, there wouldn't be a gym, or a reputation, or a Madison and Ryan. There'd just be ashes. The next step? I called in a favor from an old friend. One who owed me after I saved his ass from losing a construction contract years ago. He worked in IT now, specifically security systems. A few quick favors, a few silent nods, and I had what I needed. The gym's private security footage? Easy pickings when you know where to look. And when you know that your wife's a cocky idiot who thinks hiding in the locker room makes her untouchable, I pieced it all together. The touching, the kissing, the sneaking into the staff showers after hours, the sounds. I burned it onto 5 separate flash drives, backed up twice just in case. I didn't want revenge. No, I wanted a public execution, one they'd never live down, one that would strip them of that smugness, that laughter, that goddamn mockery I still heard echoing in my skull at night. The day I chose to drop the bomb was perfect. Titan Fitness's Member Appreciation Day. Free classes. Balloons. Crowds. Perfect stage. Perfect witnesses. Perfect endgame. All I had to do was show up, smile, and blow the whole King circus apart. The parking lot was full by the time I pulled up. People laughing, music blaring, kids running around with protein shake samples in their sticky hands. I walked in calm, almost detached, flash drive burning a hole in my pocket. Everywhere I looked, smiles, high fives, compliments about family atmosphere. If only they knew what went on behind those locker room doors. Ryan stood near the entrance, that fake, gym rat grin plastered across his face, flexing for the moms. And there she was too, Madison, wearing tight leggings and a smug smile, acting like she was queen of the damn parade. She didn't see me yet. Good. I went straight to the manager's table, where they were running a slideshow of gym events on a giant screen. Charity events. Transformation photos. All that PR bullshit *T. I tapped the manager on the shoulder, Brian, I think his name was, and said, "Hey man, big fan of the gym. Got a cool highlight reel for your slideshow. Thought you might want it for the event." He was busy, stressed, probably hadn't slept in days trying to make this circus look polished. He barely looked at me. Yeah, sure. Just plug it in over there. Thanks, bro. I smiled and handed him the drive. He popped it in without even checking it. Just dragged the file into the playlist. And then I waited. Arms folded. Heart hammering. It took about 5 minutes. 5 minutes of fake charity smiles and selfies before the screen flickered. The first video started slow, grainy footage of the gym showers. 2 figures. A woman, laughing. A man, pressing her against the wall. At first, people didn't get it. Some looked confused. Then someone gasped. Someone else let out a low, disgusted whistle. And then Madison's laugh, her unmistakable little giggle, echoed through the speakers. The room turned electric. Heads whipped around. Voices rose. Is that Madison? Wait, that's Ryan. Oh my God. Madison was frozen mid-stride. Horror painted across her perfect little face. Ryan turned a shade of green the first didn't even know existed. He bolted for the screen, shouting something, but it was too late. The footage rolled on, other clips, other angles. Kissing. Whispers. Movements. Shameless. The crowd erupted into chaos. Parents covering their kids' eyes. Members shouting. Phones coming out, recording everything. I didn't say a word. Didn't have to. Their own actions were the fireworks. I just lit the match. Madison spun around finally and spotted me. The way her face twisted, rage, fear, hate, it was almost beautiful. She stormed toward me, finger jabbing the air. You did this. She screamed, her voice cracking in front of everyone. I shrugged. Loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. I said, you did this. I just pressed play. Ryan tried to play hero, grabbing my arm. Big mistake. I swung without thinking, without caring, and dropped him right there onto the protein shake samples. The place exploded. People screaming, rushing for the door, gym staff scrambling to pull us apart. I didn't fight back. Didn't need to. I had already won. Madison stood over Ryan's crumpled form, sobbing now, mascara running down her face like some tragic soap opera character. And for the first time in a long, long time, I felt nothing. Not love. Not hate. Just peace. I turned and walked out. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. The war was over. And I'd burned every bridge behind me without a second thought. I didn't hear from Madison for 2 days after the gym meltdown. Not a call. Not a text. Nothing. Honestly, I thought she might have finally gotten the message that her little reign was over. That I wasn't the same idiot she thought she married. But on the 3rd day, around midnight, the knocking started. Soft at first. Then harder, faster, like a desperate animal clawing at the door. I stood in the hallway, arms crossed, just listening. Her voice broke through the wood, shrill and cracked. Open the door. Dylan. We need to talk. I almost laughed. Talk? Now she wanted to talk? I waited until the knocking slowed, Her head probably leaning against the door now, mascara smudged from whatever crocodile tears she forced out. Then I opened it. Just a crack. Just enough for her to see my face. She looked like hell, hoodie thrown over greasy hair, cheap sunglasses hiding puffy eyes, her once perfect nails bitten down to the quick. Pathetic. Not even worth hating anymore. I messed up, she breathed, trying to push the door wider. I didn't let her. No sh*t, I said, cold and flat. She winced like I hit her. Good. Let it sting. I was confused, she started, her voice wobbling. I didn't mean for it to go that far with Ryan. It just happened. We were both lonely. You were always working it. I barked a short, humorless laugh. Save it, Maddie. I saw the messages. The videos. You weren't lonely. You were bored. Big difference. Her jaw twitched. She wasn't used to me talking back. She was used to the doormat version of me. The one who apologized when she stayed out all night. The one who believed her when she said the girls' nights were just wine and gossip. Not anymore. She tried again, leaning into the doorway, voice dropping into that fake sweet tone she always used when she wanted something. We can fix this, she whispered. I still love you, Dylan. We're bigger than one mistake. I tilted my head, studying her. You mean your one mistake that lasted 3 months? Your one mistake you laughed about to my face. Her eyes flashed. For a second, I saw the real Madison slip through. That spiteful, venomous little snake hiding behind the tears. You're really gonna throw away everything, she snapped. You think you'll find someone better than me? Look at you. There it was. The truth under all the fake apologies. She didn't come back because she loved me. She came back because her shiny new boy toy got exposed, and now she was just another woman with a ruined reputation and nowhere to land. I opened the door wider, not to let her in, but to make damn sure she saw my face when I said it. I'm not throwing away anything, I said slowly. I'm taking out the trash. Then I slammed the door. Hard enough to rattle the frame. Hard enough to send a message. She screamed something through the wood, probably a curse, maybe a threat, but I didn't listen. I walked away. Didn't even look back. Somewhere deep down, the part of me that used to love her, the part that used to hope, finally died that night. And in its place, something stronger was born. Something colder. Something that didn't need her lies, her betrayal, her cheap little games. I didn't just lose a wife. I lost the last pieces of weakness I had. And for the first time in a long, long time, I wasn't scared of being alone anymore. A few days passed without a sound from Madison. I started thinking maybe, finally, she'd gotten it through her thick skull that she wasn't welcome anymore. Then I got the letter. Folded neatly in a pink envelope, sitting on my doorstep like some sick joke. The handwriting was hers, all loopy and innocent, like she was still the sweet girl I married. I almost didn't open it. Almost just tossed it straight into the trash where it belonged. But something in me needed to see just how low she could still crawl. Inside was a letter 5 pages long, drenched in fake apologies and even faker promises. She wrote about what we built together, about second chances, about how nobody's perfect. She said she was ready to fight for us, ready to be better, ready to make it up to me. Then came the kicker. Buried halfway through the 3rd page, like she thought I wouldn't notice it. I was thinking we could renew our vows, she wrote, and maybe you could help me out financially for a little while, until I get back on my feet. There it was. Not love. Not regret. Just a hand reaching back into my pocket. Just a parasite looking for a new host. I laughed out loud, right there on the front porch, while the neighbor across the street stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. Or maybe I'd finally found it. I didn't respond to her letter. Didn't call. Didn't text. Instead, I boxed up everything that still smelled like her clothes, her jewelry, her dumb little trinkets scattered around the house, and I dropped it all off at Ryan's place. Middle of the night. Right on his fancy new doorstep. I left a note taped to the top of the box. She's your problem now. Good luck. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? More than words could say. 2 days later, I got another knock at the door. This time, not Madison. It was Ryan. Black eye, busted lip, looking like he'd been through a blender. He stood there breathing hard, his fists clenching and unclenching like he didn't know if he should swing or cry. I leaned against the doorway, arms folded, calm as a corpse. What do you want? He wiped blood from his mouth and spat on my lawn. You ruined my life, man, he said, voice hoarse. I lost my job, my clients, my reputation. I raised an eyebrow. Good. You deserve worse. He took a step forward, chest puffed up, trying to intimidate me. I didn't move. Didn't flinch. You think you're better than me? He snarled. You're just a washed-up loser whose wife got bored and upgraded. For a moment, I felt the old anger flare up in my chest. The urge to break his nose all over again. But then I looked at him, really looked at him, and all I saw was a broken, desperate boy playing tough guy. I smiled. Upgraded. I said quietly, Brother, you picked up my leftovers. And you're choking on them. He swung at me, wild, sloppy, desperate. I dodged easily and watched him stumble past me, almost falling onto the porch. Pathetic. I didn't even bother hitting him back. I just closed the door in his face and locked it. Through the window, I saw him standing there for a minute, breathing hard, fist shaking. Then he turned and limped back to his car, his tail tucked between his legs. Madison and Ryan, the queen and king of nothing. Burned. Broken. Beaten by their own hands. And me? I stood in the middle of my empty, silent house, breathing deep, feeling lighter than I had in years. They thought they'd bury me. They thought I'd beg. They thought I'd break. Instead, I buried them. A week passed before the next storm hit. Just when I thought Madison had finally crawled back into whatever hole she deserved, she proved me wrong again. It was a Saturday morning, bright and cold. I was out back fixing the fence when my phone buzzed. At first, I ignored it, but it kept going, over and over. Finally, I wiped the sweat from my hands and checked it. 20 missed calls. All from friends, coworkers, even my mother. And the texts. Jesus Christ. Bro, you good? Did you see what she posted? Man, you need to shut this down. My stomach twisted. I opened up Facebook, and there it was. Madison had made a public post. Not a private message. Not a quiet little apology. A full-blown, scorched earth manifesto. She wrote that I had been emotionally abusive, that I neglected her needs, that I drove her to find happiness elsewhere. She painted herself as the poor, lonely wife trapped in a loveless marriage with a cold, distant husband. She even threw in a few juicy lies, said I threatened her, said I stalked her, said I was unstable and dangerous. And then, cherry on top, she tagged Ryan, writing, "Thank you for showing me what real love feels like." My hands shook, not with fear, with rage. She wasn't just trying to save face. She was trying to bury me under her lies, turn me into the villain so she could walk away the victim. It should have destroyed me. It should have shattered everything I had left. But it didn't, because I had one last ace up my sleeve. See, Madison forgot something critical. She wasn't the only one who kept receipts. I pulled out my phone, opened my folder, the one labeled Madison's Greatest Hits. Screenshots, voice memos, security footage. Every lie she told, every whisper behind my back, every disgusting thing she ever said about me when she thought I wasn't listening. I spent the next 2 hours uploading it all, piece by piece. Calm, surgical, precise. I didn't add commentary. I didn't rage or insult her. I just let the evidence speak for itself. Her DMs to Ryan, mocking me. Her texts bragging about breaking him little by little. Video clips of her laughing about how easy it was to make him think he mattered. The effect was immediate. People turned. Fast. Comments flooded her post. Wow, this didn't age well. Girl, you're trash. You deserve each other. She tried to delete her post. Tried to block people. Tried to spin it. But it was too late. Screenshots lived forever. She couldn't hide what she was anymore. And for the first time, she was being seen exactly for who she was. Not a victim. Not a hero. Just a bitter, broken woman who destroyed everything good in her life for a few cheap thrills. Ryan tried to defend her at first. Posted some pathetic rant about love conquers all. It got maybe 3 likes, 2 of them probably bots. By Monday, the gym officially announced that Ryan was no longer affiliated with them. Memberships were canceled left and right. People talked. People remembered. And the legend of Madison and Ryan spread like wildfire. She thought she could turn me into a ghost. But in the end, she was the one who disappeared. It was almost funny how predictable she became once the walls closed in. 3 nights after the social media disaster, there she was again, standing on my porch. No knocking this time. Just standing there, arms wrapped around herself like she was the victim, like she didn't just light her own life on fire and then cry about the smoke. I opened the door slowly, leaned against the frame. She looked up at me with red, glassy eyes, lip trembling like a high school actress who missed the audition call. "Dylan," she whispered, her voice breaking like she thought it would hit me in the chest. I didn't know what else to do. "You were my everything. I messed up. I was scared. I didn't say a word. just watched her squirm under her own lies. She shifted her weight from foot to foot, searching for some crack to slip through. When I didn't react, she changed tactics, dropped her voice even softer, let a single tear slide down her cheek like it cost her everything. "I don't have anyone else," she said. "You're the only real thing I ever had." The balls on this woman. After everything, the betrayal, the mockery, the public shaming, she still thought she could play the victim and I'd sweep it under the rug like nothing happened. I stepped out onto the porch, closed the door behind me. Made sure there was no mistake. She wasn't coming back inside. "You made your choice," I said, voice steady. "You had a man who loved you, who worked his ass off for you, who believed in you. And you pissed on it because you needed to feel alive." She flinched like I hit her. "Good. You're right," she said quickly, reaching for my hand. "I was selfish. I was stupid. But we can start over. Please, Dylan, I'll do anything." I pulled my hand away like she was radioactive. "Anything, huh?" I asked, my voice low, calm. "Would you undo every lie you told? Every night you snuck around? Every time you laughed in my face and thought I was too stupid to notice?" Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. No words. Just the sound of someone who knew, deep down, it was over. I stepped closer, close enough for her to hear the final nail go into her coffin. "You made me a ghost in my own home," I said. "Now you can be one in my life." I turned and walked away without looking back. Closed the door. Locked it. She stayed out there for a while. I could hear her pacing, crying, whispering to herself. Eventually, she left. And for the first time, her footsteps didn't hurt to hear fading away. They sounded like freedom. Later that night, I sat on the couch, the same one where I used to wait up for her, and realized I wasn't angry anymore. Not sad. Not broken. Just empty. But in a good way. No more pretending. No more walking on eggshells. No more swallowing my pride to keep a dead thing alive. I had finally buried the last piece of her. And in doing so, I had finally found the last piece of myself. The next morning, sunlight poured through the windows like it hadn't in years. I woke up without that heavy pit in my stomach, without checking my phone for some pathetic apology that was never coming. I brewed my coffee slow, took my time. The house was quiet, not dead, not haunted, just peaceful. Every corner that used to echo her lies was clean now. It wasn't our house anymore. It was mine. I sat out on the porch, sipping coffee, watching the world move on without her. And it hit me, the truth I hadn't wanted to face for so long. Madison had never been my partner. She had been my anchor, pulling me deeper, dragging me under, making me smaller every time I thought I was building something real. She didn't betray me because I wasn't enough. She betrayed me because she wasn't enough. Not for herself. Not for anyone. Ryan? He wasn't an upgrade. He was just the next casualty in her war with her own emptiness. Let him have her. Let him rot with her. It wasn't my problem anymore. If you ask me then what I learned, I'd tell you this. If someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them the first time. Don't beg. Don't bargain. Don't light yourself on fire to keep them warm. Walk away. Even if it rips you apart. Even if your heart feels like it's screaming inside your chest. Because the pain of letting them go is nothing compared to the agony of holding on to someone who's already gone. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was free. And the man Madison tried to destroy? He was gone too. But in his place, someone stronger stood up. Someone who would never, ever mistake love for loyalty again. I finished my coffee, leaned back in my chair, and smiled. A real smile this time. Not the tired, forced grin I wore for years. The world was still spinning. The sun was still rising. And me? I was just getting started.